Hi guys, I am outside right now. We've had some remarkably warm weather and uncanny. Luna! Ready? Okay, hi guys. I'm gonna make this a bit quick because the dogs are out with us and my dog just wants to run into the woods. It is March 12th today? 11th? 11. And all the snow has melted, so you can actually see my field, which is fantastic. I was going to upload a farm layout, and I still am. I recorded a walkthrough of the drawing, but I figured I'd come out here and show you guys the field in person and what's gonna happen. So, right now it's just a lot of dirt, basically, but as you can see here, it is, so up in this top area, that's that first rectangle, and then there is a diagonal here that splits. But the farm layout is from this perspective. So as you can see, it's flat on this side, and then it goes up on a diagonal that way. There's gonna be a 6-foot pathway for the tractor to come all the way through, and then all the way up across the top. On this side, there's going to be 18 beds. Each will be 100 feet long, 4 feet wide, and there'll be an 18-inch pathway in between. And then on this side, it's also going to be 4-foot wide beds, but the length of it will just decrease as it comes in with the angle. Down here in this smaller section, you'll see on the layout, I'm just going to do a cantaloupe plant, a watermelon plant, things like that, because it's difficult to actually space out. You know, I want a 4-foot by 4-foot bed or something that just got a bit too tedious. So I'm going to leave that open, and then down here is also going to be where the vegetables are. So you walk through, we've got vegetables. On this side of the field, it's going to be a lot of filler flowers, a lot of the smaller bits and bobs. I'm going to have eucalyptus and lavender. And this entire top row up here is going to be sunflowers as well. I do believe it'll be 100 feet, maybe a little less, but I'm doing them all the way up there for also to kind of create a little bit of a windbreak. This is on a hill that slopes down, so the wind does kind of rush through here. So the 6-foot pathway will go all the way up to the top, and then I'm also going to be installing a wind fence. It's going to basically be snow screen all the way across the top to, again, help with the wind. Our wonderful barn cat. So this obviously is an entrance into where the horses have their paddocks and their other pastures. This field itself used to be one of the horse pastures that my mom so lovingly gave me because she didn't want it anymore. So I've turned it into a flower farm. But up here we kept these 3 posts up. What I want to do is I want to create some type of, I'll probably just put up some MDF or something or treated wood to then have a place to hang all of my tools and store them to keep them protected from the weather, but then they're all up here. I've got my water source up here as well. We have a well. So this is where all of my water is going to be coming from. I'm planning on running 3 hoses from there for my field. We'll see how that goes. I'm not doing drip irrigation this year. It's my first year doing this. I'm putting a lot of money into it already, and watering by hand I know is going to be a massive task, but I decided on doing landscape fabric instead of drip irrigation to help with the weeds. So that's another that. As you can see, we've got the willow tree here, which is not going to go anywhere, but I really want to have a prep table here. So my plan is to build an 8-foot prep table and have 6 feet of it be actual tabletop with a back, and then the last 2 feet I'm gonna have it be a metal grid so I can throw my veggies on there and rinse them off and wash them out here instead of having to bring them all the way down to the house and rinse them there. So that's gonna be the prep table, and they got the chicken coop as well, and that's it. The fact that there's no snow right now is a bit crazy. I've been waiting to come out and actually stake out my rows. I've got flags and I want to get those all marked up. It'll probably snow again soon because this is Illinois, so you know our winter's never over. But yeah, that's about it. But I wanted to get out here because the weather's been so nice. I was filming the video walking through the drawing, and then the snow started to melt and melt, and it was a beautiful day, so I'm making my mom come out here with a camera and follow me around so I can show you guys actually in person, and hopefully now when I jump to the footage of me walking through the drawing, things make a little bit more sense. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be walking you through an illustrated tour of my farm this season. It is winter. There's a lot of snow outside, so there's no way for me to give you a tour of the actual farm, but I've been drawing and putting together the layout for the coming season, so I figured I'd walk you through, then you have a better idea of generally what the farm is gonna look like. I have a lot of new people here. Hello, hi, thank you for wanting to join in on this journey. If you watched my seed haul, which I will link down below, you'll have an idea of the numerous varieties I'm going to attempt to grow this year. So yeah, I'm gonna walk you through my thought process, why I put things where, what things are looking like. And if you have any knowledge or experience in this category and you see something where you're like, oh no, she shouldn't do that, or you have an idea for me to try out, let me know down below. That has been the best thing since my seed haul, is so many people have been commenting and reaching out with recommendations, ideas, what they've been doing, and that is one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to put this out there in general. I just want to meet and talk to more people who are doing similar things, or they have a passion for similar things, or just share what I'm going through for those who maybe want to garden but can't garden, and they can live vicariously through me and my mistakes. Without me rambling on for even longer, let's jump into it. Alrighty, here she is. Oh, she's so pretty. For those of you who may not know, the name of my farm is Arlene and Artemis, and I have my logo here, and I'm so excited with how it looks. But this is the overall layout. The shape of it was predetermined. This is an old horse pasture on my parents' property, and the diagonal was just how the pastures were already laid out. But it actually worked out really well size-wise, because this entire section right here, all of these rows can be 100 feet long. So the actual dimensions, it's a little under 14,000 square feet. I think it's like 13,957, I believe. It's a little bit over 1/4 of an acre. One thing that I didn't draw on here is a compass. So north is going to be this way. So the sun will rise and set across the field. The shape actually worked out really well. I split it into 2 chunks. This side is very aesthetically pleasing. All of the rows are 100 feet long on this side, and all of my beds will be 4 feet wide on either side as well. The exact dimension and lengths of all of these rows is to be determined. I have the measurements around the entire field, but after I subtracted out a 6-foot path in the middle for the tractor to go down and 6 feet at the top, I'm not exactly sure how long each of these is going to be, and I want to make sure it goes all the way out to the corner. So these are more of a guesstimation for how much seed I'm going to start. I'm likely going to start more than what I need. So up here is the tractor entrance. So over here is where the horse paddock lives, the barn, all of that stuff. So this is kind of the main way that we get to that. This path is heavily traveled. We have a chicken coop, which we will have chickens in this summer, and then we have the water. We have a well that was dug for the barn, so I'll be using this water source for the entire field. And then there's also a crazy willow tree. I don't know if it's actually a crazy willow, we call it a crazy willow tree, but I'm leaving a 6-foot pathway that goes all the way across the top, and then also right down the center to then exit out here. There's a tree here as well. So the tractor can come in and out, and I can access both sides of the rows. And then up here, I'm going to have a 4-foot tall wind screen that goes all the way across the top of the field. Where my farm is located is extremely flat, so we're getting a lot of wind all the time, and then where the field actually progresses, it does go downhill. So down here are my most precious items, I would say. This is gonna get the least wind damage, and up here I will have the wind screen to hopefully protect as much as possible. And it's also why I put my sunflowers up here, because that's something that I know will get beaten up by the wind because they are so tall, but I'm hoping because they're so tall, they can form as another windbreak for a lot of these other more delicate flowers underneath it. And then up here, I'm really bad at drawing things to scale, so this is likely not an accurate size, but I do want to build a prep table to have outside. In my mind, it's gonna be 8 feet long and about 4 feet deep. It's gonna be a treated wood top for 5 feet of it, and then the other 3 feet of it on the end, I want it to just be a wire grid where I can toss all the vegetables, hose them down, rinse them off outside instead of having to bring them in and wash them inside. And then I'll put a little storage underneath. And then to start off our rows, like I said, each row on this side, all of these beds are 100 feet long by 4 feet wide. The stars on the end mark which rows I will have landscape fabric on, and I tried to space out the actual types based on kind of how much space it's going to take up in the row. When I was laying out where I wanted to put specific flowers, I wanted to make sure that the ones that could withstand the most wind and the ones that I don't want to say that I don't care about them because I care about all the varietals, but the ones that aren't the most important to me, I was okay putting up near the top, because if they get a little wind battered, I'm not going to be super heartbroken, whereas I put a lot of money into all the anemones and ranunculus that I bought, so if I put those smack dab at the top and they just get obliterated by the wind, I will be crushed. And the colors for each row indicates the plant spacing for all of them. I made sure to group similar plant spacing in each row to make life a little easier for me, especially on the ones that I do have landscape fabric. I didn't want to burn holes for 9-inch spacing for half of it and then 12-inch spacing for the rest. I focused mainly on having plant spacing be the same for each row. This marking is to show that I need a trellis there. And then down here, so I'm gonna pop thistle over here because it's something that will stay in permanently. Same thing too with peonies. I ordered a few roots, not a lot of peony roots because they take a couple years to actually provide flowers, but it is something that I want to have eventually. And plus, even if I'm not living here, my mom will be able to have plenty of peonies. So I didn't dedicate an entire row to peonies. I have the rest of it filled up with some yarrow, honeywort, and amaranth. And then this last row here is gonna be all rose bushes. And then down here, we move away from flowers and we've got vegetables. So I originally had this entire field filled with flowers, and I think that that would be absolutely beautiful, but I know I'm going to have so many flowers already. This is my first year doing this. I don't have a huge customer base that's waiting for me to have a booming season. I'm hoping to be able to sell some flowers, but majority of them I know I'm gonna end up giving away to my family and friends so that they don't go to waste. That being said, growing vegetables is something that I want to learn more about as well. I figured if I'm gonna be dropping off flowers to my friends, I might as well drop off some vegetables as well. Plus, it's a whole other side of gardening. Flower farming is one thing, growing vegetables, vegetable gardening is another. I'm not planning on selling any of the produce that I bring about, but I do want to try and see, like I'm doing with all the flowers, see what grows, see what goes well, and see what I can learn along the way. And then these 3 circles down here, these are gonna be, I'm just gonna do one plant of each. Crimson sweet watermelon, Tommy apple, cantaloupe, and sugar baby watermelon as well. Because it's this bottom corner, I don't really know how much room is gonna be here. I know there'll be enough to space out 3 plants, but I figured instead of trying to cram a 4-foot bed and a 4-foot bed in here, just leave it open. The melon plants can kind of grow wild. I know it's gonna overgrow the pathway and then same thing too into the yard, but I'll kind of just manage that and try and get them to just go this way the best that I can. I could have absolutely no luck with that, but we'll see. I need to do a little bit more research on pairings. I know that specific vegetables shouldn't be put next to other ones, so I want to make sure that I'm actually pairing them correctly. I think for the most part I did an okay job. I have been throwing in random things like potatoes, kale, arugula, beets. Those things I hadn't planned for, but I purchased seeds for, so I need to do the research to make sure I have them in the right spots, but I will kind of rejig as needed. And as a general overview, you can see obviously these are my heavy hitter flowers. This is really where all of the floral action is happening. And then over here, we've got a lot of different types of fillers, greenery, more textural elements, all of those things I kind of paired in here because when I was going through it, I don't need 100 feet of forget-me-nots, but I do want to have a lot of different varieties to pick from. Things like eucalyptus and lavender, those are things that I do want 100 feet, but I reeled it in a little bit. I had a little bit more self-control, but this is the general overview. I'm so excited to see this farm actually come to life. I hope that seeing that and walking through it gives you a better idea of what to expect this upcoming summer and just the sheer volume of everything that I'm going to be tackling. I have gotten a few questions on how I've done all of my seed planning and planning out successions and pairing, making sure spacings are together. And the way that I did that was in an Excel. I built out an Excel that is very basic, but it contains all of the information that I need that'll carry me from the planning process all the way through the end of the season. I even have my fall crops on there, everything that I'm planning for later on. It's a lot of information to go through, and I want to make sure that I go through it in enough detail that it can help any of you who might be trying to put together an Excel yourself, or just shed some light on the entire process and all of the work that's gone in on the back end to make this farm actually come together in a cohesive and logical way. At least my kind of logical. For any of you who are just popping on to this video and you didn't see my seed haul before then, I highly recommend checking it out so you can see all the different varietals, the different colors, really pair that with the visual aspect of the seeds. I'll have that link down below. And as I mentioned in that video, this is my very first time doing anything to this scale. I've worked in floral design and event design in the city, but due to the pandemic, I lost my job and I decided to move home back to the country. And being out in the country, I decided to take advantage of the land that we have here and start a farm, which is a bit crazy when I think about it, but it also feels like the exact thing I should be doing right now. So if you want to join along and watch me try and manage and figure out how in the world I'm gonna plant 14,000 plants, how I'm gonna start 14,000 plants, well, a little under 14,000, some of them direct seeded. I picked up some stuff for my seed setup, which I will also be doing an entire video on. Again, if you have any questions or comments, please let me know down below. I've been enjoying responding to everyone from my seed haul. It's so great to just chat with people who are doing the same thing or something similar, or even those who just have a passion for flowers and they don't have the means or the land to be doing it themselves. I love talking about flowers. I could talk about it all day long, and that's also kind of why I'm putting together videos, so I have an outlet to talk about flowers all day long without driving my family members crazy. So if you also love to talk about it, you have any questions, anything you just want to chat about, let me know down below and I will get back to you. I'm almost positive this outro has been longer than my intro, but the next video will be all about my Excel planning, everything that's gone into planning. Let me know down below if you have any questions for me. I'll make sure to add those in and answer them the best of my abilities. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye. Oh, hi, Vicky. Hey, baby. Yes.